Oh, hey, Kim, sorry. I had to run. I'm sitting here thinking, here we go. We're going to start the day off right. And forgot to get my coffee. Had to run back in and grab my cup. All right. Well, I'm right on time. 5:59. How you doing this morning, Kim? Well, I guess I won't be playing any more Name That Tune. I got a little slap on the hand from YouTube that said you can't do that. So they didn't take the video down, but I just, yeah, I don't want to get on any music infringement lawsuit. So I am going to pass on that for the future. Really, all they did is they just demonetized it, so I can't make any money off the video, which is fine. I didn't know if they would or wouldn't, so that's why I tried it, and the answer is they will. So best just don't do it. Jacito, good morning. Chris, good morning. How you doing this morning? It's, what day is it? Let me see. You know, when you're retired, sometimes the days all run together. It's Wednesday, I believe, isn't it? Yeah. All good so far. There you go. Good, good, good. Duncan 17, how's it going, Day? Good morning, everybody. Well, I was just telling Kim over here on YouTube, I got my hand spanked for playing music on YouTube. So I Name That Tune's going to have to go away. Nothing serious. They just demonetized the live, which is not a big deal. But yeah, no need to push buttons there, if you know what I mean. So Caden just joined. Hey, Caden, how's it going? H Web, Urban 99. Want to hear a riddle? Yeah, go ahead, Urban 99. Let's go. Give us a riddle for the day. Dear 30 joined. Good morning. FBI loves them. Cartels gotta have them. What am I? Morning, dear 30. I'm trying to figure out this riddle here that Urban Suburban. Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh man. That's pretty funny, Urban 99, especially right first thing in the morning. Thanks for the follow too. I'll check your page up. That's funny. Oh man. So tell me, this week it's my first week of not actually having a job to go to, but I've been really busy between, you know, all the fun stuff that you have to get in line when you retire. I didn't realize there was so much to do, but between that and projects, nah. I mean, you got to look at the lighter side. You know, it's funny because I was just thinking about, you know, the drug cartels. People just don't. I don't really think they realize, if you've never been affected by someone that gets hooked on drugs. And, I'm really fortunate that it's never been anybody in my family, but we've had a close friend that their daughter just couldn't shake the drugs. And I mean, she was in and out of drug rehabs, would disappear, live on the street, do unspeakable things that would just, rip a parent's heart out. And they just could not stop her. And I mean, this went on for several years. And like last year, she had come out of a rehab center, and they'd let her, I think they let her come home for a few days, and they were trying to get her settled, and she just disappeared. And wasn't at their house when they got home from work, and they couldn't find her for 3 or 4 weeks. They finally were able to track her down, and she was dead. She had OD'd, and they found her somewhere on the streets. But yeah. So, when you talk about cartels and all the drugs that they bring in here, everybody thinks it's about drugs. What it's about is money. It's all about money. Hey, thank you for the follow there. Yeah, so it's really about money, and it's it's devastating to all kinds of families. And people don't realize that there are hundreds of thousands of people in the United States that die from drug overdoses every year, and some that don't die. The drugs, even if they get shy of them, people, I can tell you that, and probably even Chris can vouch for this, is there are a ton of nonviolent drug offenders in prison. Because, and you go, wow, why are they all in prison? Well, you might not think so, but sometimes prison's the best place for them to be, because it keeps them clean. They can't get to drugs. Not that there's not drugs in some of the prisons. I'm sure there's contraband. I know that. I'm not naive to that, but yeah, there are a lot of nonviolent people. When I worked for the prison system years ago, people were in for drug charges. Back then, they were in for marijuana, which you probably, unless you had a lot of it, wouldn't ever do any jail time in this day and time. But yeah, so us going after the cartels and the drugs and stopping that, yeah, I think that's good. I'm not sure that what's going on now is necessarily going to stop the flow of drugs into the United States, but that war on drugs has been going on a long time. However, the guy in Venezuela is a bad guy, and unfortunately, I don't know that just removing him is going to fix the issue. Hey, Jessica, Pirates. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining me over here on YouTube. Sorry, we got a little conversation going here regarding what's going on in Venezuela. There are a lot of people. I was just reading that there's a large population of people from Venezuela who have come to the United States in Florida. And, they even they have mixed emotions about what's going on. A lot of them, oh, there you go. Even in Wyoming there. Okay. Urban 99 says, yeah, even in Wyoming, but they have people who I think really would like to go back to their home country of Venezuela, and have not been able to, in fear of their own lives, their children's lives. There's just a lot of bad stuff going on over there. And unfortunately, what you hear in the media is that it's all about the the oil. And, you know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I think some of it has to do with that they were selling oil to China and some of our I guess enemies, if that's what you want to call them. Hey everyone. Hey John, how you doing? Morning God. Hey, what's up? There's just as me. Because of the way it trends. Yeah, you're right. You're right. People leave countries for multiple reasons all the time. You know, I mean, just look at the movie stars that left, or at least they claim they left when Trump was elected. And some I think actually did. Maybe, you know, out of the hundreds that said they were, I think 2 or 3 actually did. But they probably already had some place outside the United States anyway. So they just went to their summer home or something. So yeah, John, doing good. Holy moly, 115 in Australia today, 115. So in hell, I thought it was hot here yesterday. Tar Heel girl, how you doing? Good. It was like 85 here in Central Texas yesterday. So yeah. Learning from work today. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, 8:30. Okay, that's funny, Jessica. Yeah, Wyoming does sound kind of nice when it's 115 in Australia for sure, with 300-mile-an-hour wind. Yeah, it can get pretty dry pretty quick. Antonio Gonzalez, hey man, what's up? Shop do I have him? Do you have? Just to answer your question, Antonio, it's called Dave's Shop because it was I named the channel a long time ago, back in 2019, and it's just I do some woodworking and I have a shop out back. What you see here is just set up. I do have some tools behind me and toolboxes, but I don't really do that much work in my garage, mostly in the shop. But I haven't at this point been able to get a good solid internet feed out there, and Wi-Fi. It's just too far to get good Wi-Fi signals. So I hadn't quite decided what I want to do. And that shop is really full of equipment and mowers and all kinds of stuff. So it will definitely need to be revamped. And that's one of the things on my list to do. So what we do here is just have a cup of coffee, talk about the day. Sometimes, I mean, if you have a question about a project that I can help you with, by all means. Lincoln, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And just to let everybody know, if you're new here, let me know where you're from. Let me, don't forget to like, share, follow, all of that fun stuff. Follow each other so that we are all growing and going from there. Thank you, Antonio. Appreciate that. So I can tell you, Antonio, I am not a cabinet maker at all. I'm terrible in cabinets. That's the one thing. It's funny that you asked that too, because I was just, they talk about when you retire, trying to do different things. One of the things that I would really like to do is, and I've helped build cabinets. But when I say I helped somebody else who had all the equipment and were very experienced in putting cabinets together. And I understand the basics. I just have never built a lot of cabinets. I did work for a trim and cabinet guy when I was probably, I was young, maybe 14 or 15. I worked a summer for him. But all I did was baseboard trim because, being young, you can be on your knees all day. So he actually did all the custom cabinet work. I did all the manual labor and stuff. So, but I'm not good at that. However, I believe here, and I just hadn't searched it out recently. Yeah, Chris, I hate making drawers. Mm-hmm. So that was funny too, Chris, that you asked that, because I was just talking about and watching some videos on. There's so many ways to make drawers. And there's different. I mean, you can just put a bottom right on the bottom of the drawer. It depends on how you want to make them. You can cut dados and use like some 1/4-inch plywood and slide that in at the bottom. You can use dovetails. So there's multiple ways to make the drawers. And I'm not really good at doing that either. That's kind of the whole part of learning how to make cabinets. So, maybe one of the things I do is take a woodworking class. I don't need the basic stuff. I can, I know how to measure. One of the things that I tell a lot of people, if you like to do shelves, slow down on the hoarding. Yeah, you're right, boy, God. So, one of the things that if you like to get into woodworking and you're kind of teaching yourself is pocket holes. I use pocket holes on a lot of stuff, and do what I call rough lumber building. You can build a lot of things just out of 2x4s, and what got me into that was when the lumber prices got so expensive. To do any kind of woodworking, it's really expensive, and especially when you talk about cabinets, because if you buy cabinet grade plywood, man, it's high. And you got to have a place to be able to lay it out and cut it, and you make a mistake, it can be really expensive. I mean, even some of the cheap plywood is expensive, but you get sanded cabinet grade plywood. I mean, you could be looking at $80, $100 a sheet, depending on what you buy. So yeah, that slows down the woodworking for me, but I still like to piddle. I mean, the desk that I'm using is made out of nothing but 2x4s. And I put some casters on the bottom of it, and I have I took the actual desktop. I took off an old table that has a Formica top on it, and it's just clamped to the work table, and it makes a great desk. But that's all it is. And so so there's a lot of that kind of stuff that you can still do with 2x4s. And I mean, even though 2x4s are $3 and something a piece, but pocket holes screws, 2x4s. I mean, you don't have to use pocket holes, you just can. But I've made a little student desk. If you go to my YouTube channel and search student desk, I think at the time that I built the student desk, it cost me about $25-$30. I built it for my granddaughter. As a matter of fact, she doesn't use it anymore, but I have it right here as a side table. Nothing super fancy, but it's it was made out of 2x4s. If you go to the YouTube channel and search that student desk, it's Dave's Shop on YouTube, and I don't think I posted that same video, but it'll show you the step-by-steps and how I built it, and it's nothing that pretty much anybody can do. Come on, Jameson, really? Adrian's had all the questions, just decided to. Well, let's see what's going on over here. Dr. Petrovich. I like that. What's this? Oh, come on. I can't see the. Hey, Dave. Your venture CD. Thank you. My venture CD. I don't guess I know what you're talking about, Doctor. Anyway, so yeah, unfortunately, YouTube has quashed the name that tune feature because of um, trademarks, or I really don't understand all that, but hey, if that's what they say, that's what we'll do. We'll stop doing it. Then somebody mentioned that when I said we were going to do that. I think it was Ed. Hey Donna, how's it going this morning? Jessica, Ed's over here on YouTube. Hey Ed, good morning. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, no, no more name that tune. I thought that was kind of funny. I didn't know if we were going to get spanked for that or not, but anyway, yeah, it looks like we are. But to get back to Venezuela and that discussion, I would really like to see that country get back on its feet, I think. Because I think there's a lot of people here in the United States that would like to be able to return to their homes, or what, I don't know what they had in Venezuela, but I mean, just imagine that if you had to pack your family up and go to a country that you didn't know anything about. Maybe you could speak the language, maybe you couldn't. Can you imagine what a turmoil that would put in your life and your kids' life? So think about it that way. I mean, there's a lot of other bad stuff too, but morning. There's AI is pretty tight when it comes to music. Yeah, they really are. And it's all about a buck. I mean, I think what we were doing is pretty innocent, but but hey, I'm not going to argue with them. If they say don't use it, I'm not using it. That's for sure. Jameson, what's wrong with a war? Yeah, I don't know of too many great things that came out of wars, but just cost a lot of money and lives. So yeah. Yeah, if I was scared for my children, yeah, I think you would be. So there's some, I guess, good and bad things. Let's just hope that all turns out good and doesn't turn out to be a big mess. Okay, so here's real quick. I had a couple of things that I did have on the list this morning. One, day 3 of being retired. So far, so good. I have had a few projects to work. I had to trim trees from Friday till I actually finished Monday morning. I actually hauled the last load of tree limbs off to the recycling center here. I had to make about 6 or 7 truckloads, but it's done. And that's a project that I'd been putting off for probably 2 years. So got that done right off the bat. We got some other stuff going, some doctor's appointments, financial advisor. I do have a quick question. I don't know if all of you have responded or not, but I did a video and it was a question of the day. And my question was, how much money do you need to retire? And so I was just curious what your opinion is. How much money do you think you do need to retire? Monica over here on YouTube. Hey, how's it going, girl? Let us know where you're from, Monica. I get the point and agree with legal. Yeah. I have 0, but I still want to retire. So I started investing money when I was like 27. And Monica's all the way from Minnesota, right up there where it's cold as hell. Monica, tell me, what's the temp in Minnesota this morning? Hey, Casey, I saw your message. You were down in San Marcos yesterday. Are you headed to the valley or back to the house, or are you leaving town? What was I going to say? I forgot now. I got sidetracked. Who's driving? Okay. All right. I won't ask you too many questions since you're driving. Just maybe we can entertain Casey some. Hey, if you don't know who Casey is our he's a long haul driver. He lives down in Beaumont, him and his wife, and he was mechanicing for a while and got same thing happened to him that happened to me, a reorg or downsize or something, and so he had to go back on the road driving a truck, which is a tough way to make a living. But I always like it when I see somebody bounce back from something that maybe they didn't necessarily choose to do right off the top. But anyway, he's on the road, been on the road the last few months, making a living, taking care of business. And currently, looks like he's going to North Dakota where it's nice and chilly. Monica says it's 31, pretty nice there this morning. Okay. Well, 31's cold, but I was thinking you were going to say 20 below zero or something like that, and a blizzard going, because I know it gets really cold there in Minnesota. My wife, when she was young, spent 1 year in Minnesota, and she tells me, and she was there through the winter, she said it was the most miserable winter that she had ever spent. It was so cold. They couldn't go outside much, and if they did, they couldn't stay outside very long. And she said it was just crazy. It's all about the wind chill. Yeah, that wind chill will get it. Be safe, Casey. Yeah, being on the road, I see Casey a lot of times. Casey does his lives usually at night. And so if you ever see him on, definitely join him on his live, because he's a lot of times he's broadcasting from inside the truck. It gives you a different perspective when you think about somebody in a truck or a vehicle, but he's in a long haul truck and he's driving, 10 to 12 hours a day. I think it's 12. I don't know if Casey, is it maximum 10 hours or 12? It's one of those. I think it's 12 from the time you start till you actually stop. Counting like if you stop to eat and all of that, but I don't know the exact law. It's 11 is what Casey says. So 11 hours. So he spends that time driving and, some stops, loads, unloads, that kind of stuff. But then that's where he sleeps at night too. So can you imagine sleeping in, and it has a sleeper and it's nice. And he's fortunate that, he's leased a brand spanking new 2025 truck. So, he has as nice as it can be. But just think about, being in the same vehicle all day. It's like, can you imagine if you were homeless and lived in your car? Well, he's not homeless, but it's like living in a vehicle. And that's what one of the many things that make long haul trucking tough. So respect to you, Casey. Thanks for joining us this morning. I appreciate it. So anyway, if you see him on live, go check him out. You'll get a real insight of what it's like when they're pulled over on the side of the road inside of a truck in the sleeper and the front and all of that fun stuff. Thank you for all the gifts, everybody. If you're new and you're on TikTok and you want to join the fan club, just send the little heart me emoji and that adds you to the fan club list. Don't forget to like, share, follow YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. You can always message me. I answer all comments. Anyway, so back to where I was at. Here's a question, and I was going to ask this in 2025 before the year changed, but everything was kind of crazy. So tell me today, and if you can, post your emoji. What is your favorite emoji that you like to use? if you use emojis. Some people really use them a lot. Other people don't use them very much. But if you have a favorite emoji, post it in the comments. That's probably the one, Chris, that I use the most. And then Donna, that's the one I use second the most. Okay. Trenton 5.7 joined. Hey, Trenton. So, my God, what is that emoji? I can't really tell what it is. Casey, yeah. Oh, Dave Buttons, what up, buddy? Thank you for joining this morning. The big red X. That's pretty cool because I didn't even think about that because you use it with the Gen X all the time. Gail Ann, good morning. How you doing this morning? Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Hey, the question out there is post in the comments what your favorite emoji is. Some people's like Ed's is the red X for Gen X. Of course, the laughing emoji. My favorite one, probably the one that I use the most is, the thumbs up emoji. Some people use that. What is that? Oh, I knew it. The gunslinger. That's the one I was fixing to say. Some people use that little poop emoji. Oh, man. I knew somebody was going to use that before it was all said and done. Yeah, Dave Buttons, exactly. I wonder who created that. But there really is some pretty funny emojis out there that you can use, and so I like to see some of the GIFs, where it'll show some kid dancing, or all kinds of different things. Can be pretty fun when you're chatting back and forth with people. Were you showcased on the show to catch a predator? No. Kyle, how's it going? Thanks for rejoining. Let's see. Admiring Earth. Well, thank you. That was a really nice compliment. Thank you. Mine is the googly eyes. I like the googly eyes too. Yeah. I just think emojis are really funny and fun to use. And sometimes, like at work, we used one of the softwares that we use a lot was Microsoft Teams. And oh my God, some of the stuff that people would post emojis. I had to. I was not a fan of Teams in the workplace, and I mean it had its place, but oh my God, there was so much noise on it that most of the time I just had to put it on a screen where I couldn't see it because it was so distracting. And other people, they never got off. It was like having Facebook going 24/7. So that's my biggest was my biggest reason that I didn't like it. Prior to Teams, we used to use, I think it was Skype, and I liked that one pretty good. But it was a lot more basic than Teams. Teams, you could do a lot of different things. We could make phone calls and had meetings on it. If you've ever used Microsoft Teams, it does a lot of different things. Let's see. I'm old in some emojis. I like that. Gail says I'm old in some emojis I don't get. Well, guess what, Gail? I'm with you there. Some of them I don't get either. Gotta run. Hey, Donna, have a great day. Thank you for joining us this morning. I appreciate you. Yeah, senior member of Gen X. Been through pretty much part of the history. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of things that have changed over time. So Ed's about 6 years younger than me. I'm not sure. Ed, what month is your birthday in? So my birthday's in September, and I was born in '59, so I'm 66. And I think I've seen a lot of changes. Um, from when I was a little kid till now. Technology being probably the one of the biggest ones. Of course, a lot of political stuff has happened too. March. Okay. So Ed's birthday's coming up. And I think Ed's going to be 61 or 60. 60 or 61. Anyway, so he's about 5 or 6 years younger than I am. But yeah, mine is in 9 days. Monica, yours is in 9 days. So, well, if I don't see you, make sure you see what's 9 days from now. Is that a weekday? What day of the week is that going to be this year, Monica? Laredo, Texas, Tioga, North Dakota to the dude. That's a long haul. Casey, what are you hauling from Laredo to North Dakota? 4 days for me. Cal Cops is in 4 days, so he's a January. So I have a friend of 40 plus years, and his birthday is on Christmas Eve. Can you imagine? I mean, of course, you don't get to pick that, but how would you like to have your birthday on Christmas Eve? His, his birthday was never much of a birthday because it's like Christmas Eve, we've talked about that. He and I have talked about that several times. Cranberry Design, morning. Great. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for the follow. Tell us what you do. It's Cranberry, Kram Berry Design. Just curious what you do. And maybe your first name. Sometimes it's easier for us to call everybody. I see that a lot. Do y'all see that? So like Monica, I don't know if that's really your first name or not. It doesn't matter. But like out of your handle, I can say, okay, Monica, I'm Dave, Jake. Okay. Jake, you have an interview today? All right. Who are you interviewing with, Jake? Thanks for the gift, Cranberry. Anyway, so I always like it, and I've had people ask me on TikTok and YouTube, hey, is your name Dave? And it is. And so in some of the postings and stuff, I talked to a couple of marketing people when I found out that I was sorry. Let me read. I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. It's a job. I'm 16, homeschool, and trying to get my first. Hey Jake, I want to tell you something. I have a granddaughter who's 17 and another one that's 19, and I want to tell you, for kids, of course, I don't remember it being tough for me to be able to find a job when I was that age. Maybe it was. I don't know. I had one. I had a couple of them. But I would tell you that a lot of places in this day and time, if you don't want to work in fast food or some type of retail, it's hard to get a job when you're 16. It really is tough. Ryan, that's interesting. So of course, if everybody's not reading and they're not reading over here, Cranberry Design, what he does, his name is Ryan, he goes by Ryan. He has a custom shop where he does lasers and CNCs. That's some interesting work. I've seen a lot of stuff done that way. Parts and different things that people can make with those CNC machines. Anyway, Jake, I want to tell you that, yeah, it's fast food. That's okay. So here's the thing you need to do, Jake. Unfortunately, probably for the next year, if you can stick it out, stick it out. Keep looking if it's not necessarily something you want to do, but you need to build, You need to build a good relationship with who you do go to work for, that you're there on time, that you're a hard worker, because you can use them for the next step to maybe another job that you might like better, or that might pay you a little more money. I don't know where you live, Jake, but I still, to this day, if you live in a warm weather climate, and maybe even if you don't, we could ask Mowing God, because he's got some experience in that too. Dude, mow grass. You can make good money. At least in Texas, I'm telling you. What was it, 2 summers ago? Kid in the neighborhood just happened to, come by knocking the door, wanting to mow grass. And normally I don't let people mow my lawn. And the kid didn't even have a lawnmower. He would mow your grass using your mower. And, I let him do it 2 or 3 times, mainly because he had the gumption to come knock on the door and ask. And so that, with me, goes a long way. And he wasn't looking for a handout. He wanted to work, and he was willing to do, any kind of yard work. And so I used him 2 or 3 times. I made sure, he kind of knew what he was doing. I let him use my lawnmower and my blower and stuff. And I kind of helped him out. Because I do reviews for Home Depot, I was able to get Home Depot to, well, it was actually Toro who donated a mower, and then Roby donated a blower and a weed eater, and we gave it to the kid. Let me see, that's been 3 years, and he turned that into a business, and he is banking the money. So just because you're starting out at fast food, Jake, that don't mean nothing. You just get out there and it's it's okay to be nervous. I mean, you'll get it though. You'll do good, Jake. I guarantee you. After you've worked a week or so, come back, and you're welcome here to join us and give us updates on how you're doing. And there's a lot of people here on this live that have tons of experience working and can, I'm sure give you plenty of tips. And, if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask. Do-Free-Aid, how's it going? It's good to network with people. Just be friendly, show up. Here's what my dad told me a long time ago. Get to work 10 minutes before you're supposed to be there and leave 10 minutes after. So be the first one in the door and the last one to leave. And that will go a really long way. And work while you're there, because you're getting paid. Don't just stand around. Find something to do. Morning, Do-Free. How's it going? Doug. It's Doug, I believe. Hey, Doug. Let's see. Gorsh bag. Stepping stones. Okay. I better go. See you another day. Monica, have a great day and a happy birthday. Come back on your birthday so we can all give you a... Monica's birthday's in 9 days. Chris is here in 4 days. And Ed's is in March. So, yeah, if you're ever joining at your birthday, let us know so that we can all... give you a round of applause. Monica, I don't know if you just get on YouTube for entertainment, and which is totally fine, or if you're actually a creator and you have a website. But if you do, send me a message. I'll go check out your YouTube page. And like I said, we can go from there. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And come back and see us. If you find one of the rare places where all is offensive, you don't. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Ed, 100%. Yeah, that's right. Give more than expected and be polite. That goes a long way. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, so congratulations, Jake. Come back and let us know how things are going. Guys, don't you like that? I mean, you know, how many 16-year-olds are really out there looking for a way to make a living? So what did my dad tell me a long time ago? He said he likes to hire people with character, not characters. So don't be a character. Be someone with character. That goes a long way too. How about that? Gail Ann was just told a story about somebody who went to work for McDonald's as a kid and currently owns 11 locations. You think they making a little money now, wouldn't you say? I think that's great, Gail Ann. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's great. Yeah, you never know. You never know where life's going to take you for sure. But I tell you what, if you're out there at 16 trying to find a job and you're not sitting behind a video game in your room in the dark, that's a plus. Get out while you're young and, experience the workplace. You're going to have a lot of years that you're going to get to work. Bo Jackson joined. Hey, Bo. I won't lie. I won't lie in. Good, Jake. That's great. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have downtime and fun time, but just make sure you'll do a good job. I got faith in you. What I do in my time? Well, I was in technology for probably 20 years, and I own my own coffee business for about 12 or 13 years. I've done a lot of odd jobs here and there. Currently, day 3 of being retired by the company I worked for a long time in a reorg. So now I'm doing my social media full time, at least for a few months, and see how it's going to go. I'm really fortunate. I can start drawing my Social Security in 6 or 7 months. I've got I was given a severance package. So, it's not really the direction I wanted to go, but hey, maybe it'll turn out to be the right decision at the right time. You never know. But in my shop, so really for me, it's my shop's really more about, I do some woodworking, very basic stuff. Home maintenance, I've learned how to fix. I can do some plumbing. I can do a little of this, a little of that. Was what my dad used to say, jack of all trades, master of none. So yeah, I like landscaping. I've done that a little bit. I'm 66. I'll be 67 September the 20th. But anyway, so yeah, that shop out there is kind of my, I do, like I said, I do some landscaping. I do woodwork, build fence, tree trimming. I like to work. I like to fix stuff. I like, I even like working on cars too, but they've gotten so, are you signed up for Medicare? Yes. At 65, if you're fixing to be 65 and you don't know this, when you turn 65, you want to go to Medicare.gov and you want to sign up for Medicare Part A, even if you're still employed. If you don't and you fail to do that, you'll pay a 10% penalty when you do sign up for the rest of Medicare. So when you turn 65, go to Medicare.gov and sign up for Part A. It doesn't cost anything. You just have to get on the books. Hard to do much with cars anymore. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't have all of the high-tech equipment to work on them. I can do maintenance, I can change tires and change the oil and, change a battery, lights, that type of stuff I don't have a problem with. However, changing the oil anymore, it's kind of changed. When I was a kid, everybody changed their own oil. And really, with all the oil change places, and you pay a little premium having somebody change your oil, but then you don't have to worry about the mess and worry about taking it to have it recycled. Chris is at, he's out in the sticks in the country, and maybe it may be better for you to change your own oil. I don't know. I did it for years and years, and then finally, and partially because I couldn't afford to pay somebody else to do it. And the other reason is it just made sense then, but it really doesn't make sense to change your own oil. If you can find a good place that you trust, just take it and let them change it. Yeah. So now what I'm looking at, and matter of fact, it's funny that we're talking about Medicare because I was just on the website yesterday. So Medicare can really be confusing to a lot of people, and I'm not going to tell you it's not somewhat confusing to me too, because they give you all kinds of information, and you can call them and get advice. And there's a lot of people out there that you can get advice from. But when you sign up for Medicare, one of the things you have to decide is, do you want a Medicare Advantage plan, or do you want just regular Medicare Part B? So Part A covers if you're hospitalized. Part B covers like your regular, if you go to the doctor twice a year, physicals. If you're sick with the flu and go to the doctor, that's the Part B. Part C is an Advantage plan, which kind of gives you, a lot of Advantage plans cover hospitalization, your doctor's visits, your prescription drugs, and some of them will even have dental and vision that are all packaged together. However, when you go with an Advantage plan, it's like being in a group, and your doctor may or may not be in network. So then you have to stop and go, well, wait a minute. Is my doctor in network with this company? It's just like having Advantage plans remind me of just like having health insurance when you work. It could be Aetna, could be Blue Cross Blue Shield, could be there's lots of different health insurance companies. I can't think of all of them right off the top of my head, but and so you have to pick, and then you have to decide, are your doctors in network with them or out of network? And of course, you can change that every year, but so you just have to decide one versus the other. A lot of times, if you have an Advantage plan and you travel outside the country, some of those Advantage plans won't cover medical costs outside the U.S., whereas Medicare, if you travel outside the U.S., will take care of your medical needs if something were to happen and you were outside the U.S., which they don't tell you that either. And that's just one of the things I picked up from a guy that he actually gives guidance on Medicare and doesn't charge anything. But yeah, he was the one explaining that to me. So there's all kinds of stuff that goes on when it comes to Medicare. I haven't made a decision yet because my wife is retired and part of the teacher retirement system here in Texas. And so I could get on her. So the way they do it is their Advantage plan is like you still have to get Part B, which they just went up, and it Part B is like $202 or $3 a month, and then the Advantage plan, which covers your drugs and some other stuff. For her, $75 a month, but if she adds me to it, my part would be $205 a month. So if you put those together, that's like about $410 a month for health insurance. And that does not include dental or vision. So I don't know how much more it would be to have those added. So, everybody says, why do you keep working? Well, one of the reasons I kept working was the health insurance benefits. I had good benefits, and I had actually added my wife for her dental and vision to my package. So, yeah. Any older folks that aren't familiar with Social Security and Medicare web sign in need to master those websites. Yeah, you're right, Doug. You're absolutely right. I mean, and the bad thing is it's scary to a lot of people. It really is. And but know this, that there are a lot of people out there that can help you with that for free. And I noticed while I was on the website yesterday, if you're going and you're not familiar with it, they do have some. Hang on a second here. Come on. I'm letting TikTok know that I'm not a bot. There we go. So, there's some videos on there you can watch that are kind of helpful and help explain stuff, but can't afford to retire nowadays. Yeah, you're right. On one hand, I'm like, wow, I think I'm going to retire. And I mean, this is not really, I planned on working until 70. So I was going to work another 3 or 4 years, providing, I'm healthy. And so that's good. And then, you hear people talk about retirement. They're like, well, you should have retired younger because you worked all your life and now something happens to you and you're, I don't know, whatever age you are. And if you would have retired 5 years sooner, you could have done this, that, and the other. And now you can't because you're too old. And then you hear other people say, hey, you should work because it keeps your mind sharp. It keeps you sharp and keeps you healthier. Avocado, what up, buddy? Ain't seen you in a while. I wish we had better support for older folks and veterans or recently unemployed. Yeah, I wish it would be better too. But like I said, I'm out of the guys that work for me. There's 3 guys. They had young families. They were the sole breadwinners, and they all lost their jobs. All 3 of them. The company let go. They took out the entire IT department in North America and Canada, and they farmed the work out to a company called Accenture. You may or may not be familiar with them, but Accenture is a very large company, and they do a lot of different things, and that's what they did. And it doesn't necessarily mean that Accenture is going to do it for less money. The way it was explained to me by a friend of mine who's an accountant is that companies look at the P&L and hey, Shannon, and when they look at P&L, they look at human capital in one column and expenses in another. And so when they're looking at stocks and stock prices, human capital has a lot of weight to it, even though it might be less actual money out of the pocket. But they could spend 3 times as much money farming that work out to another company, and it just falls under an expense category. And that category doesn't affect the stock price so much. And this last year, the company I worked for, their stock price was, for the first time in years, was worth less than a competitor. And so that's the best explanation I got from them. It was a big giant mess, basically, and still is. I'm still getting phone calls from the company asking questions about how to take care of stuff because they don't have anyone to do it. So I haven't answered very many of their phone calls. I'm kind of making them suffer a little bit. And then I'll get them to hire me back as a contractor for 3 times what they were paying me. That's kind of being ugly, isn't it? Mavita joined. Hey, how you doing? I work for a company like Accenture. My job's going to be gone within. Yeah. Technology's changing. And so a lot of guys immediately said, oh, it's AI. That's why we're losing our job. That's not why we were losing our job. AI has not taken that part of what the work we did. But, will it? JT just followed. Thanks, JT. It's all going to the top. Yeah, I agree with you there. It's really funny because they took everybody out and then they said, well, we're going to repost some jobs so you can reapply and get one of those jobs. Unfortunately, all of those jobs were vice president jobs, senior manager jobs. They were all at the corporate level, which is in Bethesda, Maryland, and they weren't paying anybody's moving expenses. So if you applied for one of those jobs and were to have gotten it, you would have had to uproot your family on your dime and relocate. So yeah, they knew what they were doing. Go free 8. It's good to have you. It really is, but I don't know. There's a lot of people that apparently a lot of people got laid off this year. And big companies, I know they do it. I mean, this ain't the first layoff I've been through. With the company I worked for in nearly 20 years, I was laid off 3 times. And 3 times I had to reapply to get my job back or a similar job. A couple of times like during COVID, we got let go. And then a month or 2 later, they said, hey, we got positions, you need to apply for them. And we did, but they cut our pay by 25%. And it took probably 5 years to get that money back or get back up to that same level. So, yeah. Ed, thank you. Thank you for your continued support. Hey, guys, don't forget tomorrow night. I'm guessing, Ed, we're going to do Bible study at 6:30. I'm thinking we are. So, yeah, if you want to join Ed and I and some others, Ed holds a Bible study at 6:30 Central Standard Time. And it only lasts about 45 minutes to an hour, but it's really enlightening, and Ed does a good job at that. So if you're interested, you can. If you're not, that's okay too. Well, more hopeful hearing that. Yeah. So the guys now, unfortunately, one of the guys that worked for me was handicapped. He had cerebral palsy. And so he only had the use of his left hand and leg. So he couldn't do anything really physical, but he was really good with the customers. And, he could sit at a desk and anything that was online or remote, he did a good job at. And so he worked for me for 4 years, about 4 years. And I'll tell you, you could set the clock by him. He was one of those guys that was first in and last out and never said no. If something came up and we had to stay late and everybody else had an excuse, I got to go, dinner's on the table, my wife will be mad, whatever, I got to take my kids there and there. And I understand all of those things, but he never said no, ever. So, yeah, he was kind of I want to say right-hand man, but he was my left-hand man. So he and I are still friends. And luckily, he had a job interview yesterday with Penske, and it looks like it turned into a second job interview. So keeping my fingers crossed that he picks up a job before his severance package goes away. Urban Ramp 99, help me. Okay, what's up, Urban? Increase your business growing. Increase your business growing. Ford stands for fix it again, Tony. That's, yeah, I know. I always like how people make fun about Ford, or if you're not a Ford person, if you're a Dodge person. I've driven Chevy and Ford. Those are the two trucks that, well, I mean, I've driven a Zuzu, which was at the time was a GM brand. And I tell you who had one of the best little small trucks that I had two of is Mazda. Those little Mazda trucks with those rotary engines in it, if you were just looking for a basic truck, man, those things, they were great. I'll be in Oklahoma tomorrow. That's all right. That's all right. Hey, be careful traveling up there, Chris. After gets the gig. Yeah, I hope his name's Jason, and I hope he does get the job. And I talked to him yesterday, trying to keep him on the positive, because it's easy to get down on yourself when I mean, he's probably applied because we knew about this since probably mid-October, that we were going to be out of a job, and so he had some tough days there. Casey's in Oklahoma now, but yeah. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed and trying to reach out to those guys so they don't. And I'm trying to be as positive as I can with them, let them vent. I'm sending them leads when I get them. I've sent them several, and so I'm just hoping, because all three of those guys, their severance package was a month's pay. So if they don't find a job in a month, the only good thing is, I mean, if it's good, is the company will allow them to file for unemployment. So they can do that. But every one of them would rather have a job instead of having to draw unemployment. So anyway. Hey, y'all go check out Cow Cop. He did a video. I think it was a series of 4, but one of them was about stop and search. For me, it was interesting. Go check out his videos. If you haven't ever checked out Cow Cop, go check him out, because he's got some really interesting videos. Hey, Zach. Help me. Increase your business growing. Gail Ann had to run. Hopefully she comes back tomorrow. So anyway, well, guys, it's 7:07. What else did I have? I had something else that I was going to ask. Okay, so here's my question. Think about this one. If you may or may not have an answer today, what's the best piece of advice you've received lately? What's the best piece of advice you've received lately? Baby Jen, how's it going, girl? Yeah. Thank you, Baby Jen. I hadn't seen you in a while. Glad to see you. How's work been? Yeah, so what's the best piece of advice you've received lately? It's been steady. Good, Baby Jen. That's what I like to hear. Job security. For me, what's the best piece of advice? I get so many good pieces of advice from people. One of the things that I used to tell my guys all the time, that'd be like, that guy thinks he knows everything. I said, well, he might. he might not. But I think you should always listen to everybody and what their opinions are, and then take what's good and just, disperse what you don't think's good, and you'll learn a lot. My dad always told me, he said, you got 2 ears and a mouth, and there's a reason you have 2 ears. You should talk less and listen more. And so I'd say that's probably the best piece of advice I ever got. So anyway, yeah, think about that. If you what's the best piece of advice you've gotten lately? And most people have to think about that for a while, because if it's something that didn't happen recently, you might not be thinking about. But you never know. You never know. Oh, I was going to show y'all here. So I've this is everybody know what that is? You see what that is? I like is it's a clamp. It's used in woodworking, and it's I don't know, as a sample. I requested it, being an affiliate marketer, but I want to tell you, I was really surprised at Viver is you don't see this brand in any of the big box stores. They're not there. You can get these on Amazon, but the TikTok shop has probably the best price that I've seen on them. And I requested these because I was curious to see how good the quality was on it. And not everybody does woodworking, but there's a lot of things that you can do with these clamps. Speaking of, I have a small form factor computer that I'm on now, and it sits on the desk right up underneath my monitors, but there's nothing. I mean, it's got the little rubber feet on it, but it could easily get knocked off. And so I took one of these, and I have it clamped to my desktop so that it can't be moved around when I'm plugging stuff in and unplugging it. But anyway, you can get a whole set of these, and I put a video on TikTok for I think $26 free shipping. And if you go and check these out in a big box store, they are expensive. You can pay $20 for one, and this was a set of 4. This is a little 6-inch, and the reason they call it 6 inches, the distance between here and here. But anyway, I'm going to do some more videos on this for them, and they're asking me to do some more of their tools, which I'm in for that. But anyway, you can use clamps. I have probably not just this brand, but I have some cheaper ones and some other expensive ones. And I do use them while I'm doing woodworking. And that was one of the tools when I first started doing it. I was like, clamps? I don't need any clamps. Guess what? If you do any kind of woodworking, you're going to need clamps, period. It's like you can't do it without it, because you only have 2 hands, and a lot of times you need 6. So Chris got to go do chores, feed the horses. Thank you, Chris. See you tomorrow, or if not tomorrow, I'll see you on the next live when you're back in town. But anyway, so I just was showing you this because even if you're not a woodworker and you maybe never thought about clamps, but they're pretty handy. You can hang them off shelves. You can, do all kinds of neat stuff, and they're easy to adjust. They have a little quick release button underneath it. So I was just going to kind of show that off. That's what they call an F-style clamp, if you didn't know, or a bar clamp. What I use them for a lot of times, you see how they're flat, is like if you're gluing 2 pieces of wood together, or you're going to even screw them together, and you need them to remain flat while the glue dries, you can set them and they'll stand up just like this. And this is level. So you can clamp it in here set it like this on top of your workbench, and it holds it up and down for you. You can also do that if you need to like plane an edge. You can clamp these, the two pieces together, or the piece of wood together, and then you can clamp, take a separate clamp and clamp the clamp to the workbench, and it holds it all in place. So there's all kinds of things. It's just like having an extra set of hands. But my wife asks me all the time, what do you use that for? And so, yeah, I thought I'd show that to you today. And yeah, I guess that's it. It's about 7:14. I actually don't have any. I think a clamp can be, yeah, that's right. You could use it for all kinds of stuff. And you know, you just have to think creative when you have clamps. And they make all kinds, and they make some. And I want Beaver to send me these too, because that's an F-style clamp, but they also make like a clamp that's like got a trigger on it. And the difference between the two is the F-style clamps, like that clamp there will hold up to 600 pounds of pressure, and the little trigger clamps about half as much. But the trigger clamps, the good thing about those is if you're doing some smaller, lighter weight stuff, those are really quick and easy to use. And they make them all the way 4 foot. I've got some real heavy duty ones that are, you know, the clamp itself probably weighs 20 pounds. So, but they come in all sizes. But clamps are pretty handy. If you interested, or you see that video, go give it a like, share. Know anybody else that wants that? And then the other thing I was going to show you are these. And people are like, what in the world are those? These are just a hex Phillips head screwdriver that you can use in your here, I got one right here behind me. I'll just show you real quick. So, and this is this happens to be a DeWalt Impact, and it's got a bit in it. You can see that right there. And you just pull this little quick connect out, and that slides out. And you can see these are hex. See how that's hex? See how that's hex? And then you could just, so if you're driving screws doing woodwork, I mean, you know, you wouldn't use something like this on real light duty stuff. But if you're, you know, fence pickets, 2x4s, plywood, that type of stuff, you're putting a screw in. I actually had to order, because, you know, these things, they do wear out and you have to replace them. But these came from the TikTok shop too. I haven't done a video on them yet, but they're pretty dang handy. And the one on the TikTok shop, it came with like a set of 10. And I did a video for it's called a magnetic ring, and it slides over this so that it magnetizes the end of this, so you can pick screws up and stick it on there, and it'll stay while you're lining it up to drive it. So anyway, there's my little tool tips today. I guess that's all I got for you here on Wednesday. Hope you come back tomorrow, and I'll see what we can get put together for fun. But thank you everybody for joining. Does Vever have any good flashlights? No. Well, I don't know. But I can tell you, matter of fact, I've got one coming. Oh, do I have that one behind me? Let me see. Hang on, Doug. I want to show you this one. Yep, I have it right here. So I don't know if y'all have ever seen the advertisements where they're showing the flashlight and it's like lights up 12 blocks, and you'll see them like actually starting campfires with it. Well, it's called Skyfire. And I got this on the TikTok shop. And trust me when I tell you, I didn't believe, and it's a rechargeable, got a little USB port on it. Very well made. This thing, I have a video, I think, on TikTok on it. It does exactly what it says it does. When it says it lights up the entire block, it does. And it has like, and this part here, it's like a magnifying glass. See? Oh, I always hold I don't know why I do this. The camera's up here and I'm holding it there. But anyway, it's a magnifying glass, and you can it just fits on the end of the flashlight. And you don't, I mean, this is not a flashlight with the magnifying glass or without it that you want to give to a kid. But with this magnifying glass, you can hold it the right distance. And if you had this camping, you can actually start a fire with it. How about that? And it works. I thought, you're not going to start a fire with this flashlight. You remember as a kid, we used to take a magnifying glass and a piece of paper, and if you held it just right in the sun. So, yeah. But if you really want a good, now this is a full size one, it's pretty good. But I'll tell you who makes a smaller. I've got some other ones that I've gotten off the TikTok shop. They're made by, what's that, Wuben, W-U-B-E-N. And they make little pocket flashlights, pen lights. Matter of fact, I have one coming, a new one. They just sent me an email. I should be getting it sometime in the next week, but it's a little square one. And it's got an adjustable flashlight and a pocket clip and some other stuff on it. But, it's something that you could carry in your pocket. And also, I'll have to find what did I do with that other one? Here they are. Here, I just happen to have this. Check this one out. This is, here, let me hold it up there where you can see if it'll focus. Focus. This one's made by Olight, and it's a 3T EOS. That little pocket flashlight runs off one AAA battery, okay, and it weighs 0.4 of an ounce. I mean, it is super lightweight. It's got a pocket clip on it, but here's the fun thing is you can stick it right there on your cap, and that way you can use both your hands. And, you can, let's see if it's, you can power it on. So, if you like depending on what you are looking for. So that's a shorter one. This is a pen light by Wuben. And again, it's got the clip so you can clip it on your cap. So you can use both hands or the pocket clip. And it's pretty bright too. This one, I can't remember, is this one rechargeable? No. This one uses, I think, 2 batteries instead of 1, but it's still really pretty lightweight. Both of them I like. Both of them I've done videos on TikTok on. And there's just sometimes, especially when you get my age and you're looking for something, you don't need a real big flashlight. You need something like this to put off enough light for you so that perfect example, sound bar went out on my TV. And so I had to get back behind it. And the lighting, between the TV and the wall, it's not great. And my wife handed me this flashlight right here by Robbie. I was like, I can't hold that and use both my hands at the same time, which I needed. So I came out here and got this little bad boy, put it on my cap. Pretty handy. And, I know they make the ones that, you can they have the little elastic band you can put around you, and those work pretty good too. I've used those before too. But that one, and then I have another one about the same size made by Coast. Coast makes really good flashlights too. So any and all of those. But I'll show you the Woobin when it gets here. It's a different looking flashlight. It's not a pin. It's like a it's square. It's just like a square. I don't know really what to compare it to, but I will show it to you when I get it, just as a little insight, because I'll have to do a video on it too. But anyway, well, there you go. 7:24 on Wednesday. I hope everybody had a great time. I had a great time. I thank each and every one of you for joining me. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow, 6 a.m. Have a great day. Go do something kind for somebody today. Share, post, comment, do all those fun things, and I'll see you in the morning. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.